Howdy, folks. Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Today we're going to talk about New World. This is the new MMO that's being developed by Amazon Games. And from what I can tell, it is the Amazon Games studio in Orange County, California. I initially was told months ago, I saw it somewhere that John Smedley was involved with this because it was similar. It was fantasy based. It was a fantasy based MMO similar to how EverQuest was, and John Smedley is one of the original developers of the original EverQuest. So I thought that he was going to be involved or somewhat, but something like that. But it doesn't look that way now because he is at the Amazon Games studio in San Diego. Now he could be having some influence on it. He could be collaborating, or he could be, consulting or whatever. But if you go to like Wikipedia or any other source, it does not mention him as being involved. That was for me. That was going to be one of the interesting topics of discussion, because Mr. Smedley is kind of he's kind of a legend in the sense that he was one of the creators of the original EverQuest, and then he kind of got a black mark on his record because of Star Wars Galaxies. But we'll save that topic for another day. Today we're going to talk about New World. So tomorrow, what you guys probably care about is tomorrow there's going to be an open beta, the 9th through the 12th. And if you want to sign up, this story here is from CNET. You can just Google New World Beta, and all these will show up. These stories will show up for you. But basically, you go to here. Let's go down here. Basically, you go to Steam, and you go to the store page for New World, and where it has the different options of what you can pre-order. At the bottom, it says apply for beta, and you just click on the button, and it basically says that it's submitted now, that your request has been submitted, and that somebody from New World or some automated thing or whatever will email whatever your email account that is attached to your Steam account. It will get emailed if you're invited to the beta. So I have done that. Now, having said that, here's another story. This one is from Kotaku, and this is from back in July. They had a closed beta, and it was confirmed that New World in the closed beta was literally like bricking and melting high-end PC graphics cards. We're talking like the 3090s, like it says here, the $1,900 ones. It was bricking them, and that's been confirmed and everything. So after that, of course, this was the end of July. So through most of August, it looks like they worked on the problem and everything. And it says here, fortunately, the problem seems isolated to EVGA, GeForce RTX 3090s, FTW3 cards. NVIDIA GPUs are released multiple models across many manufacturers, etc., etc. So just because you're getting a 3090 doesn't mean that you're getting it made by EVGA. You can get it. There's other brands that make them, and it looked like it was specifically the EVGAs. So the statement that was given by Amazon was that it was isolated to that one type of card and so forth. But then later, they issued this other statement that says, while they have had reports of some hardware failure from players, the New World closed beta is safe to play. And they're saying that they did get some reports of other hardware failure, which they put in their statement there. So what that means to me is that I'm going to wait. I'm gonna let the first day of the beta, if I do get into the beta, I'm going to let the first day just go by, and I'm just going to wait and see if we get any more of these reports of anybody's cards melting or and now, and from what I can understand, the initial reports were that the reason was that New World did not have a frames per second limiter in the code. And so, like, on those 3090 cards, it was hitting like trying to hit like 9,000 frames per second or something, and it was and it just fucking killed the card. Because I mean, good grief, you know. So hopefully they got that fixed. Hopefully it was just that one type of card. But again, I'm personally going to wait the first day because it's going to be 9th, 10th, and 11th, and closing on the 12th, I guess. The beta will close on the 12th. I'm in no rush to jump into this thing. I'll give it the first day, and then I'll read some news reports. I'll go on the forums, etc., and just see. Anybody having any problems? Because before I risk, causing any damage to my rig, because this game is not that important to me to give it, to take a risk on screwing up my rig, So anyway, so that's where we're at on it now. Having said all those things about the beta and this possible issue that was going on that hopefully has been fixed now, let's go back to this. So just on my impressions on what I've read here about this is the actual game website here. My takeaways here are that it looks very reminiscent to every other fantasy, MMORPG that we've seen. I mean, it's got the fight in the world, magic, relics of the past. I mean, all the same things, which are great. No problem there. And then, it says grow in power, and it talks about progression, which any MMO is going to have a progression, system. But you can click on it to get more information. Then it has, choose your faction, the Marauders, Syndicate, Covenant, etc., which, I mean, those are all, they sound like stereotypical types of, what do you call it? What's the word I'm trying to think of here? Factions. And then it says, find your place, and it talks about towns, territories, and it's talking about basically crafting. And here's what disturbs me. And it talks about rule the market. It has player-run economy market, which all sounds great, because every MMO, we all want player-run economy. We want player-made goods, player crafting, etc. Fantastic stuff. However, every game that we've seen come through since like Ultima Online and Star Wars Galaxies and EverQuest and EverQuest 2 before they changed the crafting system. Everything since then, it's the same thing. There should be a button, just like this, where it says more about progression. There should be a button right here that says more about crafting and the market. But there isn't. What that tells me is that this is, again, a secondary thought. It's like they just kind of threw it together, is my guess, after the fact. I mean, they worried about progression, they worried about combat, because if you roll down, combat, action, combat, more about combat, you can click on it. There's nothing here for crafting and the market. That concerns me. That is a red flag for any of us that have seen this shit before, So that's my first thing. The other thing that kind of bothers me a little bit is it says here that you even have the option of settling down by purchasing a house in a settlement or more, if that's your thing. Where what that should be is you have the option of building your own home and your own settlement and all that. This reads to me, this game is supposed to be buy to play, meaning you buy the game one time. There's no subscription fee for it. Like World of Warcraft is $15 a month. There is none of that in this game. It's just you buy it and that's it. So this might be a microtransaction by purchasing a house and something. Or maybe, hopefully not. Hopefully it's through in-game currency, gold, etc. But there should be the option of building all of this shit yourself. That's just my opinion. Anyway, Then you got, more about expeditions. There's a button to click. It's like, okay, invasions, war, etc. So it sounds like there's going to be PvP. There's going to be group PvP. There's going to be, you know, uh, this is siege warfare. Okay, massive scale siege warfare, 50-player teams. We've all heard all this stuff before, which is all great, but it seems to me like that's where all the focus always is. And then, of course, the this stuff is the afterthought, which for me is a big part of any game. That if I'm going to be living in the world, if it's going to be something that I'm supposed to be able to be immersed in, and let's say I want to be focus on being a trade crafter or whatever, this concerns me a little. So, but it's nothing new. It's nothing I didn't expect because all of them do it nowadays. So, anyway, that is New World, and I have, like I said, I've applied for the beta. I'm going to let the first day go by, see what happens. Now, below, I'd like to know your thoughts. Are you planning? Have you already applied? Were you in the closed beta? That would be interesting to know. Were you in the closed beta? Are you going to be in the open? Try and get into the open beta. Or are you going to do what I'm going to do and kind of wait it out the first day to make sure there's no issues? I'd like to get all that feedback. Plus, please click like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Because even though I've been pumping out content like crazy since I retired from my day job, not only have I not gained subscribers, I've actually lost subscribers. So it's either just me, or it's the content that I'm putting out, or the algorithm's screwed up. I don't know what it is, but anything you can do to help me would be greatly appreciated. So with that said, we will catch you guys on the flip side.